The other thing that stood out to me on Raw this week, I love the continued back and forth that's going on with John Cena, Kevin Owens. And did anybody notice, and I'm surprised that some of the podcasts that I've heard out there from some of my fellow colleagues, especially those of you that's like, Lee, check this out. Listen to this when you get a chance. I'm not going to mention any names because I don't want you guys thinking I'm bashing you guys. I love everybody. But I find it a little bit odd that those that I did listen to did not bring up the fact that here we are a week later after Machine Gun Kelly got attacked by Kevin Owens. I mean, he took a power bomb from the top stage ramp and all that good stuff. Bit surprised that we go to Raw this past Monday night. Now, maybe I missed something. Maybe I went into another room. Maybe John Cena said something, but I rewinded it on my DVR pretty much as soon as he began to talk. I didn't hear John Cena say, Machine Gun Kelly, get well, kid. I didn't even hear Machine Gun Kelly reference. As a matter of fact, all throughout that episode, all I kept hearing was John Cena, after suffering such a devastating beating at the hands of Kevin Owens post-match, even though he won his match against Kevin Owens at Money in the Bank for the first time since his post-match beatdown or his beating, John Cena returns. I mean, they act like this guy got hit by a damn car and he was out of commission because he had to have some fusion surgery, so he was out for a whole year rehab and all that. I mean, they act like, I'm thinking, where's the U2 music? Remember when Triple H messed up his quad first time and he came back to U2's It's a Beautiful Day? Great song, great album as well. Shout out if you have the UK version. UK version gives you a bonus track, Ground Beneath Her Feet. You U2 fans, hardcore U2 fans at that, you know that song. That's actually one of my favorite underrated songs by U2. It did not get a lot of love on North American radio. Getting sidetracked. But we see this John Cena return and all. No mention of Machine Gun Kelly. And you know what? It brings up a very interesting question, which is, should WWE continue to reach out to celebrities for these segments where the celebrities are getting physical? And I bring up a very valid point because think back 2 weeks ago. Kevin Owens does that spot to Machine Gun Kelly. You see that, you're like, wow, well, I don't particularly care for whoever this rapper is. I know that was the case for me. I didn't care about him when he did the little WrestleMania thing. I didn't care about him when I saw him last week. I couldn't help but go, okay, I know he's popular, but I don't particularly care for him. I don't particularly care for his music. If I want to hear rap, I know where to go, and he's not one of those people. Now, some of you guys may say, "Oh, Lee, you're being racist." I like Eminem. I love Eminem. Eminem is the fucking man. I haven't seen anybody come as close to Eminem, not since Vanilla Ice, and the way Eminem handles his business, he puts Vanilla Ice to shame. Eminem is the real freaking deal. I will give him his props any day of the week. This Machine Gun Kelly motherfucker, what I've seen, I'm not impressed. But to each its own. I guess there's girls out there that's like, oh, he's cool because he raps and he's got these tattoos and he just looks cool and he knows what it's like to suffer. He knows what it's like to be poor. You really think so? You really think so? Really? 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 Anyway, Machine Gun Kelly gets that little spot, and you're saying to yourself when you see that spot, okay, great. So they're using this to try to really help further along Kevin Owens. Okay, awesome. I'm seeing this last week, and I just couldn't help but say to myself, watch WWE fuck this up. Watch, because as good as a spot that was, especially in trying to help put Kevin Owens over and the connection between Kelly and John Cena, they're boys, you know, all this other good shit. You're like, okay, well, let's see how they handle this Machine Gun Kelly injury. And what does fucking Machine Gun Kelly do? He hops on Twitter and he basically says, oh, that move As a matter of fact, he did at Fight Owens Fight and said to him, "Oh, that little spot that you did, that was nothing, man. That was chump change. You need to come at me stronger next time," or whatever like that. All right, so basically you just took a massive shit on that spot that happened on Raw last week, and you killed whatever momentum that could have been gained for John Cena and Kevin Owens, because you had to just speak your piece. You had to let your fans know that you didn't really get bitched out by a professional wrestler or a person in the sports entertainment industry. I gotta be politically correct here. Okay, so alright, that's your way of protecting your ass and all that. I just don't understand why WWE works with these young punks that don't care about the business, that do not appreciate the business. Look, we all know that wrestling is scripted and all this other good stuff, right? But when you see situations like this, I mean, am I the only one that remembers the spot between Jerry Lawler and Andy Kaufman? Am I the only one that remembers that stuff in their infamous segment on David Letterman and all that? I mean, when Andy Kaufman was going around making his media blitz and all that other stuff, I mean, he was pushing the neck brace, threatening the lawsuit. I mean, him and Lawler, they had the people in the palm of their hands, and WWE passed up on this opportunity to do business with Andy Kaufman, because back then they were just so protective of the business that they didn't want to have celebrities into it, and the rest was history. It was something that later on, when Vince McMahon came to Jerry Lawler, he's like, "Man, that spot that you did with Kaufman, that was just freaking golden." You're telling me in this day and age, WWE, the powers that be, they could not give Machine Gun Kelly a couple of $1 million for that little spot that he did, and a little stipulation be put in there for him to shut the fuck up for like about a week, just go rogue from social media, right? Now I see somebody saying, what about Floyd Mayweather versus The Big Show? First of all, we can debunk that right now. This shit that Big Show did with Floyd Mayweather, including the punch that Mayweather did to the Big Show, which was legit, all that shit, they sold that. There was nothing wrong with that. What I am talking about is selling the art of illusion. That is what I'm talking about. Now, we can go even more recent than what's going on with Floyd Mayweather and Big Show, because that's some years back. Anybody remember what was going on with Zack Ryder, and when he kept getting bitched out by Kane and all that, and he was mixed in that little storyline with Eve Torres, John Cena, and remember how he was wearing a neck brace and all that? Well, if you know your podcast and you remember your media blitz back then, Zack Ryder, any and everywhere that he went, he was making rounds with that cast on, and when they were asking him about it and all that, he was selling the hell out of it. That was just in recent memory. I can name more examples where, but see, those are wrestlers. Those are wrestlers that I'm talking about. I'm talking about the whole celebrity factor. Whether some of y'all may like him or you hate him, you got to give Floyd Mayweather his props. He went in there, and honestly, the spot that he did with the Big Show, it got him more over. And Big Show too, because Big Show actually legitimately had a broken, bloodied, busted nose. So it was a great spot right there. But you're telling me in this day and age, you couldn't tell Machine Gun Kelly, hey, look, we're going to give you $1 million. You're going to take this move by Kevin Owens, and then you're going to shut the fuck up for the whole week. You're just going to go rogue. That's not hard to do. I went on a sabbatical last week, and I tweeted, actually, I don't even know if I tweeted last week. I probably might have favorited something or retweeted something or something like that, but you don't know how to go dark? Another example, you look at what's going on with TNA Wrestling. They had that horrific Mickie James Storm storyline where James Storm pushes Mickie James off the train tracks or whatever, from off the train platform, and she fell onto the train tracks or whatever, and you're like, damn, what the fuck is going on? What the hell? And of course, you're probably gonna have a lot of fans, especially those that go, it's still real to me, damn it. They're gonna be like, Mickie, oh my god, are you okay? Some of them, they just literally are saying this just so they can get a reply from Mickie James, so they can go, oh, Mickie James replied to me. Oh, that's so awesome. Don't ask what they're doing with all those moaning. But anyway, you see this horrific storyline with Mickie James and James Storm. Mickie James basically takes a massive shit on that storyline because whatever buzz that was going on for her, she pretty much shot that shit down when she goes, oh, guys, I'm okay. And obviously, as you can see and hear, and she's plugging the next events that she's gonna be at, and she's talking about how she's not really sure what's going on with this storyline right now, and that it just makes her so upset, but she really doesn't know what's going on. So, I mean, look, there's plenty of stupidity to be spread around here. Now, I know we got you TNA marks out there. You may not like the fact that I'm somewhat bashing the TNA product right now. Notice, I'm not bashing the wrestlers. Don't have a problem with the wrestlers. Don't have a problem with the performers. Storylines as of late, well, with that Mickie James thing, you gotta be honest, you hardcore TNA fans. That was stupid right there. Alright, the way that they had that set up. You WWE marks, hey, same thing that happened with TNA. Look at what happened with Machine Gun Kelly. Like I said, you go to Raw this past Monday night, they didn't even mention that spot. They pretended almost as if that shit did not happen. And I mean, can you blame them? Because Machine Gun Kelly didn't sell it. Brings up a very good question, which is, should WWE continue to utilize celebrities in certain roles where they're being involved in some type of a physical aspect? They're being involved in some type of a physical segment. And honestly, no. Unless they're willing to sell the hell out of those spots, I don't see how WWE can continue to do that, because it might sound good that 1 week, but unless that celebrity has true appreciation, true respect for the business, I bet you if that was Hugh Jackman that was in there instead of Machine Gun Kelly, he probably would have sold it. You know why? Because he gets those, he gets that world. He gets that world of pretend. He gets that world of those colorful characters. After all, he's played a comic book character or two over the years. So I'm quite sure, hey, would you mind selling this for a couple of days? He probably would go, yeah, sure, no problem. Regardless of that poor spot, I'm still looking forward to seeing what goes down with this third epic encounter between John Cena and Kevin Owens.